Hey, what's up guys? Mike here with Step-by-Step Programming, and today we're going to learn how to make custom cells in a table view in 4 steps. And those steps are to create a TableView Cocoa Touch class with the zip file, and to create a cell instance targeting the new class that we just created in step 1. Register your zip file in the viewDidLoad of your view controller, and finally just to edit your cell. So let's get started. Alright, now we're going to continue this off the TableView tutorial. It was a project that I used for the TableView video that I created. So that is in the comments below if you want to download that and get caught up. If you're not familiar with TableViews in general, because this isn't about TableViews, it's about custom cells, go over to our video on TableView. It's called Create a TableView in 5 Steps, and I'll put a link in the description as well. So, with that said, let's get started with step 1. So we have our project here. We have, as you can see, we can get the storyboard to load. We have our table view here, and everything's all set up to work so that when we run the app, it displays an array that we set in here. It's just 3 different strings, and everything's set up like so. And now we're going to add a custom cell from here. So first step is to create a TableViewCell Cocoa Touch class. We're going to go to New, File, Cocoa Touch class, and we're going to set it as a TableViewCell. And as you can see, there's a lot of these things down here, like collection view cell. You can do that. It's very similar to work with collection views on this. So yeah, but for now we're just going to do a table view cell. Also create zip file. Make sure this is checked. Also create zip file, and it's in Swift and everything. So we're just going to call it TableViewCell, and that's it. And we want to target the app, and we want to make sure it's in the folder. All right. And so there's our TableViewCell Swift file and the zip file. And here's a little something that I like to do is new group, and we call it TableViewCell. And we're going to take these and we're going to put them in there, just because it keeps everything organized over here. And so now we're going to go back into our view controller and do step 2, creating the cell instance. And it looks a lot like this, what we're looking at right here. But instead of cell, of course, right here, we're going to put the TableViewCell. And in order to do this, it's got to have an identifier. And in the zip file, same as we did here in the main storyboard, where the cell has a reuse identifier. All of the cells require reuse identifiers. So for this one, we're going to call it TableViewCell. And it's easy just to name it the same thing as what you've named it over here, just to keep up with it, because if you create a lot of these different custom cells, then they're going to get really confusing. And so that's why I like to put them in the folder and call them the reuse identifier by the same name as the Swift file. Now we're going to go back into the view controller and TableViewCell, so everything's right. And then we're going to cast it as, and we're going to TableViewCell. So you know what? It doesn't really know what's going on here, so let's go in, File, Save, Save. Let's see if we can get that, and then we're going to build. Okay, so I figured out what was happening here. In this, I just had to go up here, go to Product, and Clean Build folder. So if you guys are experiencing that use of undeclared type, try it again. And there we go. Just had to clean build or build. Sometimes one works, sometimes the other does. It's kind of finicky. Now the next step. So now we've set this up. so that it should show up in here on the storyboard when we load the app, and we'll get to changing the label in a minute. But first, there's another important step here, and it's to go into the viewDidLoad and to register your zip file. And in order to do that, just a one-line command here. It is TableView, which is this IB outlet that we created up here. TableView.register. And we're going to go to nib, because nib is just another word for zib. It's just what they used to use. So for this nib, we're going to say it's a UI nib, and it's going to be called, of course, whatever it says over here. So TableViewCell. And then for the bundle, we're going to put nil. And then the cell reuse identifier is, of course, the one that we used up here, which is TableViewCell. There we go, there's step 3. Okay, so I'm having this error. This happens sometimes with my Windows keyboard. Also, if you guys ever have this issue, just delete the whole thing you've typed and just type it over again. Because there's something about how the Windows keyboard, if you press a certain button, I believe it's Alt, which my finger did slip on while I was doing this, it'll create some ASCII characters that aren't normally there. So it's kind of strange, but yeah, we're going to go back here and we're going to cast it as a UI nib. Oh, not data. Not data. For that we need nib name. Weird stuff happening here. So for the nib name, we're going to go back to our TableViewCell. Oh. TableViewCell. And then for bundle, I'm going to say nil, cell reuse identifier again, TableViewCell. Now let's make sure it didn't happen again. Let's go up here and let's build. Alright, everything looks like it checks out. So we're done with step 3 now. And so the last step is to just edit the cell. So if we go in here, this Swift file, of course, targets the cell. And so we can just do whatever we want in here. Let's say that the size inspector, I do want it a little bit bigger. And to do that, we just take it and we drag it. Pretty simple. And then in here, we're going to put an image view. Right there. And then we're going to get our step-by-step logo. Drag it into assets. And then, because it's a high resolution image, I'm going to go here. And we're going to do step-by-step logo. Looking good there. Just may need a little bit of resizing. Whoa, big screen. Need a little bit of resizing. I'll show you guys what I'm doing here. Webcam's getting in the way, so we want to make it 50 by 50, maybe. Stick it to that. Or that's all we need. There we go. Perfect. Well, not perfect. Let's go in here. I'm going to change the width to 100. See how that looks. All right, cool. And then we're going to add the label that targets this message array that we had right here. So going to UI label. Once again, scroll up a little bit. We're going to go center it vertically. Then we're going to make it 20 off the closest thing to the left, which would be this image view. And there we go. Now this label, we have to create a, of course we have to create a IB outlet, a reference to it, in order to target it. And to do that, we're going to go into TableView Swift file. Finding dependencies. Nope, not that one. Okay, and after clicking all around this entire app, we go here and automatic. Oh, and it's magically back. This happens so often. Oh my God. And we're going to create a reference to the label. And we're going to call it message body. Just why not? So we know what to refer to it as. And then we're going to save these files. Close this out. And go back into the view controller. We're going to take that, instead of text label, it's going to be cell, which is this cell. We've targeted our cell. So we can also get message body out of it. And so that should end up giving us what we want. So it took forever for the simulator to start, but it looks to me like this image, when I set it to stick to the bounds, it's sticking to the length of the screen, and that creates a problem. So we're going to go back into here, and we're going to change. Actually, let's just remove all the constraints. And then we're going to make it 90 by 90. Now let's run it. Oh well, now we need a set size for our app. And so let's actually see if this just sticks like this. And if we can use Interface Builder, sometimes you gotta. There we go. So the thing is, sometimes you gotta screw around with the Interface Builder. It doesn't. It tries to learn to do things automatically, so sometimes it'll just automatically pick up on what you want to do. See, by me setting the boundaries and the width and the height of the image view, I set the whole size of the TableViewCell. So it just they've found a way to infer a lot of things using the Interface Builder. So sometimes you just got to play with it. But from there on, looks like we're done here. Thanks guys, thanks for watching. Check out my video on TableViews down there, and download this completed project on it's the custom cells link on GitHub in my description again. So yeah, thanks guys.